Metals bringing you the show tonight, All American Metals, AA-metal.com. Y'all, let me just tell you, and you've heard it over and over again, just if you're looking at any kind of construction, I think you ought to consider steel on the front end. Now, I get it. There's some traditional stick-built construction that just has to be that way. But if it's an expansion of your space, barn-dominiums, pole barns, sheds, commercial buildings, steel is amazing. It's affordable. It goes up quickly. It's very durable. It lasts for years. And it's nice to have a company that's fully integrated like All American right here in Birmingham. You don't have to depend on these big corporate companies that are in this field. They've been doing this stuff since the 60s, producing steel. We're a steel town. And they've got their own factories. They produce all of the stuff that goes into your building. They can form the support structure, the primary, the secondary, the clips that hold it together, the bolts, the screws, the sheet metal, of course. They get these sheets of steel that they can bend into any pattern with any color you want. And they take care of the process from the design work all the way to the delivery at your home or on your property if it's a business. Commercial packages, of course, warehousing, retail build-outs, mini storage, even residential red iron. I remember the first time they told me about that, I had to kind of stop and think, what is that? Sometimes people need to have steel in their staircases or in certain parts of their home for whatever reason, structurally or aesthetically. They can produce that for you as well right there at All American Metals. You'll love working with them. Their price is better, their turnaround's faster, and it's completely custom. And it's because it's local. You're right here by the factories. If you want to change something or something's not quite right, they fix it instantly. They take good care of their folks. It's All American Metals. And if you're a contractor and you're out there putting these buildings up, let them be your supplier. They even have off-the-shelf stuff that they keep in stock. They'll sell you if you're just patching something up. It's aa-metal.com, aa-metal.com. All right, it's 4:08 as we get cranked up this hour. Of course, the Fauci hearing's kind of dominating us quite a bit today, as would be expected. I have turned that into sort of a lecture on just staying skeptical and never let yourself get, again, put in a position where we're afraid to ask questions. Anytime you're in that position where you can't even, you may be wrong, but you're not allowed to challenge, it's unhealthy, especially when it comes to government decisions. When you're not allowed to put up an argument. This country was founded on that. We were founded on questioning everything and holding under scrutiny everything government does. We've had scandals this week that we've talked about, from water boards all the way to the White House and this Fauci situation and everything in between. And it's because sometimes we're not paying attention. And honestly, the mainstream media that used to be, they had the professional burden to hold government officials accountable. They've given up. They don't put the resource. Some of them have agendas for sure, but some of them just aren't given the resources to do investigative work and to keep their eyes on all this. One of our listeners did something pretty smart, and I hadn't had a chance to review it. It's just been that kind of day. But he used an AI tool to scrutinize how, because I was going on this rant the other day about water boards and water utilities are ripe for corruption because they're boring and people don't go to them and media doesn't cover them, and they kind of work in a vacuum, and sometimes we don't know what they're doing. And he went and applied some AI logic to a study to determine how much coverage they got on these decisions. And I can't wait to sort of dig into it. I love nerdy data like that. Speaking of data, you remember the data lady with the scarf that was always up there with Fauci? We called her the scarf lady or the scarf queen. What was her name? Bricks?
Yeah,
she had this superhero, floral superhero cape on, and she'd go, the data. Every day we was like, the data. And then we'd hear from Cuomo. You remember how stupid it was? Cuomo was like, the ventilators. And then she's like, the data. And where's she? She didn't get a pardon. She hadn't been in. Where's she, Rand Paul? What about the guy that did just get indicted, one of Fauci's close aides that was destroying evidence and pilfering classified stuff, trying to cover up for Fauci? He did get busted. Fauci gets a get out of jail free card from the potato head, and he's there pleading the fifth all day today. And where are these people? It was a combined effort. There are a lot of no-name white coat people behind the scenes too that were in on it, and then a lot of very innocent, good researchers doing life-saving work that were trusting as well and just went about their business, some of whom were probably skeptical. Others just want to keep their job. In that industry, if you make trouble, you don't get funded. If you're we just had a story this week, and I don't have all of it, but it was AJ. I'm not making this up. Danny, UAB, they'd already 1819's got the story. Y'all can go look it up. I'm going to try to paraphrase. They got some grant funding for some health research to study the vaginas of transgender men. I know it's confusing. Don't wreck the car. I don't know if this is women who now dress in flannel like dudes, but still have a vag, or if it's these men pretending to have one and they're going to do a study on their imaginary vagina. But they spent a lot of money. They've already started the research. Now, why would they do that? People have sent me that story for the last 2 days. I'm not. Here's what I'm going to say about it. When they were offering free money from the federal government with some strings, almost all of these institutions will take it and pretend to go along with the strings. They'll just do it. Stupid as it is, well, they're sitting there around the conference table, Dr. So-and-so and Dr. So-and-so and Professor so-and-so, and they're all sitting there. And then, of course, our diversity officer, we're all sitting there going, well, it's $2 million. Might as well take it. And then nobody else in the room will hold their hand up and go, but what if these guys don't have vaginas? See, then you're a boat rocker.
Or who's going to be on this team? Because I'm not signing up for this.
First thing they did, went out and bought 5-foot salad tongs. That's just me. So nobody in the room will raise their hand and go, but scientifically, is this? Because if you do, you're a troublemaker, man. You're Paul Revere all of a sudden. Who are you? Shut up. We need the money. They're always raising money. They got to have the money. And so if you want to get promoted, if you want the prestige, if you want to stay in the job, if you want some of these guys, and I've had them admit it to me, will do projects that are funded, fully funded, in order to be able to do something they really want to do that's not getting funded, that could save lives, or something important that they can't get any attention on because it's not sexy or doesn't come with a political angle like men's vaginal health. That's straight out of the Biden playbook. I guarantee you all that stuff was approved by Congress during that era where everything was, if it was transgender, it got money on it. And so people just sign up and go, yeah, us too. That is groupthink, and that is death. Trust me on this, groupthink is death. It's death on a football team, in a business, in a city, in a country, in the Congress, in health policy. If everybody's just in the room going, yeah. I mean, and I'm not talking about the butthole at the end of a teleconference where you're on like Microsoft Teams having a meeting and everybody's done wanting to get off and go do their job, and they're having a little group meeting, and there's always that one butthole that goes, but I have a couple of more questions before we get done. I'm not talking about that kind of questioning. That's just trying to sound smart by asking questions. I'm talking about seriously looking around the room and going, what are we doing? Mo is in Columbiana. What's up, Mo?
Hey, man. I've met a lot of guys that I suspect have vaginas. You meet those guys.
I would agree. Metaphorically, yes, 100%. You are correct, sir. I would agree.
Back to the reason why I called is I would just like someone from the government to say, hey, we screwed up. We apologize. Someone to admit it. They just want to dismiss it all like it never happened. And they hurt a lot of people. And nobody with any authority, especially in the state, Alabama, Kay Ivey, she tight-lipped about it. That health inspector guy, the head state health guy.
The Scott Harris guy, who's probably a nice guy, but he sounded like Milton from The Office, from Office Space. He was like, I was told I would have a piece of cake. Remember that guy, AJ, in the Office Space? But every day he would come out and go, well, we we recommend that we stay with the mask and we stay. And I guess, because he's just a state bureaucrat that nobody ever heard of, and he was just following. He was following the herd like everybody else in healthcare.
Everybody going along to get along,
Yep.
trying to be quiet and keep their job, get their pension. Nobody had the sack to come out and say, "Hey, we got it wrong. We apologize." That would go a long way with me.
100%. Me too. Me too. I'd like them to wheel Kay Ivey out in between naps before she's done in January, and get her to tell us when she's shamed. The worst thing she did. Look, she's an 80-year-old woman. She doesn't know this stuff. She's depending on Scott Harris, who's getting emails from the NIH. So he's just a bureaucrat, and they're dispensing all the same pablum to us for a long time during that period. But Kay Ivey shamed and blamed people who wouldn't get the vax on the continuing presence of the disease. And now we know all that was poppycock, and she had no business doing that. I'll never forgive that woman for doing that. It's when I turned on her at that point. I was like, I don't care if she's everybody's memo. That's embarrassing.
Hey, man, on a different note, that your road trips out west, that's some of the best radio. Appreciate it.
No, thanks, brother. I appreciate that. I actually got a piece of hate mail today over it. Some anonymous twat who was afraid to even, he signed it Clark Griswold, said, nobody wants to hear your little road trips. Just stop doing it. I was like, well, clearly you're listening. He took the time to print that out without his name, put it in an envelope, lick it, and put a stamp on it and send it up here. Me and Matt Murphy used to frame those and put them on the wall. That's okay. Hey, thanks, Mo. I appreciate it, buddy. It was a good time, but I'm glad to be home. I really am. All right, let's talk about Birmingham Broker, bhambroker.com. I don't know. I've not checked in with Craig today, but for a minute, you couldn't even get in down there because they were still trying to nail down this gas smell in the area, and they've shut down several blocks of downtown Birmingham. They think it's a sort of a pirate underground gas tank that nobody knew and was not on the books, somehow started maybe leaching, but I don't know that they've actually buttoned that up yet. I should probably check in on that, but Craig's business is right in the middle of that area. It's why I knew about it the other day when it happened, when they shut it all down, because they ran him off the business. But the good thing for Craig is these guys can still work with you even without the shop for a minute to get you assessed and help you get a car sold. A lot of stuff they do is online anyway, so they're going to get it out there in the world, get it sold, get you a check, get you top dollar, and they handle it for you. You're not having to do those things that I just hate doing, and it's why most of us hate it so much, and we get impatient, and we're not willing to sell the car ourselves, and so we go down to a dealer. You get all starry-eyed over a new car because we've all been there. That new car smell will get you high. It's so nice. That's a great smell. When I go to the car wash and they say, what scent would you like today? I'm like, do you have roast beef? They'll go, no. I'm like, new car then. So I always put the new car in there. And so Birmingham Broker, rather than getting all intoxicated and just handing them your car like, here, take it, because you got hearts in your eyes, slow your roll, let Birmingham Broker sell it. It could be the difference in thousands in the deal between retail and wholesale. They'll give you a check, go pay that thing off or put it in the bank and go buy the other car as a separate project. You'll do better all around. It's how that whole system works. So y'all reach out to Craig and the team, and even though you might not be able to physically go to their location, they can work with you over the phone and get all this stuff transacted for you. They will not miss a beat. They work hard. It's bhambroker.com, downtown Birmingham, 4th Avenue South, bhambroker.com. All right, y'all, 425, Leland Live, Allen and Company next up here on the show. That's the Thompson family. I know Allen's the boss and his name's on the building, but he's got his whole family in there with him. And they are so kind and they've got the right touch. And that's a big part of the experience. It's not just the diamonds. Diamonds are the same all over the world. In fact, they're pretty much priced the same all over the world. It's how the industry works. What you're looking at is not the stones, it's the setting. It's everything that goes with it. And part of that is the service and the decision making and the customization and the low pressure atmosphere that they give you at Allen and Company. So you can really think about these things. If it's an engagement setting, man, they're going to think about it and change their mind, think about it and change their mind. That's okay. Give them time. Fellas, give them time. If you're going to do this thing at, say, Christmas, you got time. You got a little time, but before you're just trying to figure out, okay, pick one. Let me just think like a guy for a minute. Pick one so I can figure out how much it's going to cost. Am I wrong, AJ? How much is it? That's all we care about. Otherwise, boo, do what you want. Let them work with her. They'll figure it out with her, get it dialed in. Then you can come back. They've got financing. They've got all kind of ways to make it all happen for you. But you kind of got to work in code to keep the element of surprise. And they call it the wish list. Even if it's a Christmas gift, they'll keep notes on the things she likes. And you can choose from that list, and you know you're not going to swing and a miss, especially with something that can cost a penny or two when it comes to fine jewelry. For repairs, upgrades, cleanings, all the things you got to do, the maintenance. It's Allen and Company in Vestavia, right there on the Big Hill. They're on the car wash side of Vestavia, to give you a landmark, near on the Chick-fil-A Fire Department car wash side of the main drag in Vestavia. It's Allen and Company. Y'all go tell them I said, hey, when you see them. Before I get Mike's call in
real
here.
Quick, I just want to say happy anniversary to Alan and his wife. Today's their
anniversary. I didn't know that. Look at AJ dialing it in. Congratulations. They're a good couple. And they're always so nice to us when we come in. You're gonna be able. We got to work it out where you can come do the show with me.
Yes, yeah, we got to work that out.
If we're gonna be on location, I need you there with me. I don't want to get stuck in the corner by myself again. I need somebody to blame it on when I spill wine all over the place. Oh, by the way, Mike, before I pull you in, AJ got an update. They did find the source of that leak. It was at a Shell station up the hill, up there on University. And apparently, I guess because they're sort of uphill from that part, maybe it was running downhill and they were searching further away. And it was a tank that they knew about. They finally, at least they traced it down. Yeah. Did they have the streets open?
Yeah.
They must.
Everything is all clear now. So.
Yeah, because the closure was just out of precaution.
Yeah.
By the way, congratulations to Birmingham Fire, all the response. Even the gas companies that came in here and shut everything down, that was a mystery, and I think they all worked together pretty well. Mike is on a cell phone. What's up, Mike?
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right, I got a question for you. Can another government or country come after Fauci based upon what he was ahead of this thing?
To answer directly, yes, they could. Is it likely to result in anything? Probably not. Because there's not a direct link between American policy and their policy. We don't dictate to them. So the other countries have their own versions of Fauci, and they should clean up their own houses. But some of them do get funding from us, and some of them could maybe trace it back to our original funding of the gain of function in the beginning and the harm it caused. And that would be a liability, not just on Fauci. It'd be a liability on the United States of America.
Yeah, it could go back to Biden for issuing the pardon and not holding him accountable. But another question. Or actually scenario, stupid thing that happened. I worked for I don't live in Alabama anymore, so I'm clear to go on this. I worked for a big company in Vance, Alabama, and they wanted us to put stars on our badges to show that we had been vaccinated.
Really?
And I was in a meeting, and I said, where in history had that gone bad before?
Are you serious? They were that tone deaf?
Absolutely. They were that tone deaf about it. And then they would put chairs in the auditorium and have people marched in and line in, and they would set them down in the chairs and go around and vaccinate them while we were.
Oh my gosh!
Would just we'd watch them stab them, and they'd fall over. People were fainting, just stupid stuff. They just were tone deaf to what they were doing.
Thank you, Mike. I appreciate it.
Thanks,
it's amazing that as a country, again, I give a pass to people on the front end, and if y'all got the shot out of conviction, fine. I mean, that was everybody's personal decision to begin with. But the people that misled the people that innocently did these things, whether it's a business or somebody that went and got the shot or put a stupid mask on when they didn't need to, we got to go back to the people that told us to do that in the first place. It's 4:30. Back in a minute. All right, it's 4:35. Ox Foundation Solutions next up here on the show. They do it all, y'all. They do all of it. I see their trucks running around. I was behind one yesterday, heading on in, and they'll be out to my house when we get ready for the encapsulation portion of the project, and that has to be done. I've got a crawl space in this part, and if you have a crawl space too, even in an older home that's never had it, it pays in a lot of ways. It not only is a moisture barrier, which will protect the structure itself, the floorboards. I mean, you can have buckled floorboards from the moisture coming up, but it's a thermal barrier. We get into the colder months and it's freezing outside. It helps protect the rest of your home by creating that insulation. So it has an insulating factor. It's a thermal barrier. Keeps your house healthy because mold is something you do not want to have to deal with. They do remove mold. They remediate that, dry you out. If you got water coming in, this amazing amount of rain we've had lately just causes all kinds of chaos in places you can't see where there's erosion and expansion and contraction, and eventually it'll break its way in, and you cannot have water in your house. It needs to be dry. Basements, cracks in the mortar, in the cinder blocks, driveway leveling. They've got a polymer system to help with that, sidewalks, anything that's dealing with these parts on your home. And, of course, the big one is leveling the house. If the house is starting to slip or get out of level, they've got the helical piers and can straighten the whole situation out. It is oxstrong.com, the best in the business. Get them over to your house, oxstrong.com. Builder number 25386, oxstrong.com. All right, let me get Steve in here. We're still taking calls, 545-9950 if you want to deal with it this afternoon. Steve, what's on your mind? Steve-O. Is Steve there? AJ, I hear the phone doing the thing when somebody's there. Steve fall asleep on us, you think? I always talk about the day that guy fell asleep with the phone on his chest.
Funny.
He was taking a nap. God. Yeah, we've talked about this a lot. This was years ago. This guy had a phone. And he was waiting on. He was on hold for a long time, and he put us on his chest, which is right there on the speakerphone. And he fell asleep. We went to him. He was snoring. He was sawing logs.
Man, that was some good sleep too.
Yeah, man. We left it, and we kept going to him, and he snored for like an hour. We'd come back, and then we'd go back to him. I'm gonna hang up on Steve if he is kind of skidsed out there somehow. Any more bear sightings this afternoon? We were having too much fun with that.
I don't know. I haven't heard anything yet. Let me check the text line, 205-545-9950. If anyone has seen Hank the bear.
We're calling him Hank. People online are calling him Shelby because he was spotted in Shelby County. Both of those are cute. We decided just to call him Hank Shelby. And the last time, one of the last sightings today was right around Eagle Point again. It looks like he made his way back over to the mountain. Eagle Point sort of butts up against Double Oak, right over the hill from me. And I told the story at the beginning of the show. I was radio jealous because our friend Bill Bussey, y'all know him as Bubba, was guest hosting on our friends Allison and Amy Beth's show. I guess they're out, and they got a little studio over right there at the part of Eagle Point. And so he was over there today, and he and his son saw the bear. I didn't get the bear. I was hoping to catch the bear on my cameras, and those guys saw the bear. But it was funny to see him post it. He just right there in the backyard, hanging around that little officey. There's an officey area right off 280 on one side of that neighborhood. The other side ends up on 119, and I don't know if they've seen him down there, but that's the last sighting I've seen today. That was this morning. Steve's back. What's up, Steve?
Hey, man. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you, buddy. I don't know why we couldn't.
Must be a solar flare or something.
I would
anyway,
say so.
The beginning of the Chinese virus, stupid, moronic, evil liberals were complaining about the name. You know, China is a censored society.
Oh, yeah.
They don't have a show called Xingping Live or anything, you know, where people can call in and complain. You know, the Chinese can call the damn virus whatever the hell they want it.
Hold on, we got to stop right there. Did you say Zing Ding Live? Is that supposed to be the Chinese version of this show?
Yeah.
Hey, Jay, he's on the phone. I was going to do Zing Ding Live on your radio. That just doesn't even flow. Anyway, go ahead.
Well, then it comes Corona, which is going to, I don't know, offend your lawn care guy or something. Offend all the illegal migrants.
Well, here's the backstory on that. Let me jump in with you. So before COVID, and I think Fauci was part of this too. Okay, so before COVID, when a disease was discovered, they would generally name it after the area
Yeah,
where it's discovered.
of
Thus,
course.
Ebola virus. It's named after the Ebola River in the Congo. It's the first place
Yeah.
Ebola was discovered. So it gives a geographical origin. So Wuhan, the Chinese didn't want the blame for it. And we were calling it the Wuhan flu for a minute,
Yeah,
and they didn't
you're right.
want
I
us to
remember
call
that.
it that. So the American officials, and I believe at Fauci's direction as well, I don't have this evidence of that yet, but they decided to call it COVID, which is nothing but that stands for coronavirus 19. It was discovered late in 2019. So there was no COVID. That's sort of an acronym. And coronavirus is the common cold. So we didn't know. We just went
Yeah,
along with it, but they
yeah, I know
rebranded
all
it
that.
to take the heat off China because China told Fauci, they're like, you call it Wuhan, we tell on your ass.
Now,
We
do
send
you?
Godzilla too. I know that's Japanese, but I love to throw it in. So
do
yeah, they had Fauci under the gun where it was mutually assured
yep.
destruction, and they immediately started covering up the origins of it in combination with each other.
Yeah, but do you also remember? Okay, that's 2019. Biden. This is 6 months before, I guess. Biden was running for the nomination somewhere in Pennsylvania, and this is when he hadn't secured the DNC, whatever. He hadn't considered, gotten the nomination. And he looked
Hmm.
over at a young female reporter, a college reporter from some Pennsylvania school, I'm not sure which one, and calls her a dog-faced pony soldier.
Yes, was that over COVID? I remember nobody knew
That
what
was
the hell he was
before
talking about. That
COVID.
was
That's when they were running for the
he
nomination.
goes, "You're a dog-faced pony soldier."
Trump would have gotten a sexual harassment charge for saying that. And they
Hey,
just said, "Oh, that's just Joe. That's just Joe." He was showing mental decline before he even secured the nomination.
and
What I'm saying,
where did that phrase come from? It was from like an old western or something, wasn't it? Wasn't it
yep,
something from when he was a little kid shooting his little pistol in the
Gary
yard?
Cooper
Yeah,
or
yeah,
Jimmy
yeah,
Stewart
yeah.
said it, or John Wayne said it.
John
I'm not
Wayne or
sure.
something. Yeah, your dog-faced pony soldier.
Hey, one more thing about these earthquakes. I remember reading years ago about what's the one in California, San Francisco? That one,
San Andreas.
and yeah, and then the Madrid fault.
That's in St. Louis. It's through Missouri,
Yeah,
right?
I know.
Yep, yep.
And so we've had a big one in Venezuela. I think another small one in Mexico, one in Atlanta. I mean,
Yep.
earthquakes didn't get reported in Atlanta in 1820. How the hell would anybody know if it was a small earthquake?
So to get the audience caught up, we started the show with this. There was a 2.3 in Gwinnett today. Just last week, the week before, I guess, while we were that was last week, while we were on the road in Amarillo. There was one in Amarillo, a 5.3 when we left, which was also rare. Japan had a massive one yesterday that tore up a bunch of stuff in a city in Japan. There's a lot of activity going on with the tectonic plates and underneath
Yeah.
the crust of the earth.
I think there was a small one down around Dothan last year too.
I think I remember that. Yep. Yep.
Yeah. So I remember reading an article years ago by some site, volcano earthquake dude, and he said one day the Madrid fault will go again. Man,
Yeah,
we could be
and
leading.
that one is one that you look at the doomsday scenarios on it. We could have. There's some maps that show we could have structural damage as far away from there as Birmingham if it were to go. And I think it's near Branson. I think it's in that part of Missouri.
Can you imagine if the bridges over the Mississippi River, a bunch
yeah.
of them went down?
Oh,
the
yeah.
the train and the auto.
All I
That
know is
would
if
totally-
once you cross the Mississippi into Memphis, if we were to have a massive earthquake, Memphis roads could not be any worse than they are from Memphis. From that bridge
Memphis,
to Tupelo, Mississippi, will make you think you're in an earthquake. I just survived that last week.
and Memphis is the largest inland container terminal in America.
Oh yeah.
All those railroads go through there. The interstate system. You can get up to Chicago. You can get down to Miami in about a day, I guess.
There was one in the past that it was recorded that the Mississippi River flowed backwards. I don't know if you remember that from history, but there was a quake, and I don't know if it was the new Madrid fault, but the Mississippi River flowed the other way for a minute during that earthquake.
Indian history or something?
No, it's. I'd have to go search it up, but I just do remember reading about that. I'll check that out and see if we can put some
It reversed
context
the
on it.
flow of the river. That's a pretty big deal.
Yep.
All right, man. I got to run. I'll talk to you later.
I'm trying to type and think at the same time. AJ, start talking for me so I can type this in. Oh, by the way, he said he was joking about a Chinese version of our radio show.
Yeah.
He said, you were on the phone. He said, I don't know if they have like a Zing Ping Live where people can call in. And I was trying to do the song. I was like, Zing Ping Live on your radio.
Oh.
Zing Ping Live on your radio.
I don't know.
You got to do it more Chinese. I don't think the Chinese would give it a soulful, like you do.
No.
It'd be like, ha! Is that more Japanese? That's more karate, right?
Something like that.
Zing Ping Live on your radio.
Well, well, while you're looking that up, so someone texted me or text the text line at 205-545-9950. He said Highway 11 at Old 280 in Chelsea is shut down in both directions due to a low boy trying to deliver a crane. So traffic.
The low boys, those trailers that they can pick it up from the sort of the front of the trailer, and it's just a few inches off the ground, but it gives them some more height when there's something big. So it did what? It hit something, or
no? They're trying to deliver a crane.
So they're just going slow.
Yeah. So
don't they do that crap at night? Come on, man. It's like it'd be like taking your biggest radio show. I'm bragging a little bit, and working on the tower right when they first get on the air. By the way, is the tower back to full power? Are we?
I don't know if it's back to full power, but at least we're on the air.
True that. We're not bitching. That was only 30 minutes. If they got that thing fixed that fast, I'm impressed. Okay, so here's the history on it. I got my thinking cap on today. In February the 7th, 1812, was the most violent series of quakes near the Missouri, and it caused what's called a fluvial tsunami. Say that 10 times. Doctor says I got the fluvial tsunami. Anyway, it called a fluvial tsunami. Fluvial just means river water, really. And it caused the Mississippi River to actually run backward for several hours after a series of tremors between December in 1811 and March in 1812. So around 1811, 1812, some serious business in the Mississippi. And, these things are in cycles, so you never know. And I'm not predicting anything for us. I'm just saying the quakes are getting a little close to home between Amarillo and Atlanta and becoming a little more frequent for some reason, at least in my very amateur observation. Fred is on a cell phone. What's up, Fred?
Hey, Leland. So I heard your comment about the crane a minute ago. I'm in the logistics business, and I work for a company that works for the Department of Defense.
Yeah.
The reason the cranes are going right now is they cannot deliver at night. It's against the law.
Oh,
DOT
really?
They won't let them travel. Now, if you see an overdimensional load on the weekends or at night,
yeah,
they're doing what we call a cowboy. They're not supposed to be out there. They're just rolling the dice and nobody sees them.
So is that because visibility is lower at night and it makes more sense to let people get around? Yeah.
Yeah, especially with cranes, too, because most of those cranes, we move them all the time that are 15 feet tall.
Yeah.
15 feet, you go under a 16-foot bridge, the guy driving that truck.
Yep.
Everything gets a little tight right when he goes under that bridge, and so you don't know, because we do have some bridges that are lower than that. But bottom line is you can't do any of that overdimensional stuff after the sun goes down.
That's good info. Answer me this. How much height does a low boy give you once you load it? Does that give you another 18 inches? How low does it get?
It's going to depend because there's a lot of different low boy stout. And low boy is also a term that the old guys used to call the trailer an RGN, which is a removable gooseneck.
Mm-hmm.
They were called low boys back in the day. So a lot of them are no different than an RGN or a removable gooseneck. That's just some old terminology, but it does give you a little. But it's not enough to really make a huge difference unless you have a super specialized trailer.
Right.
And this for this crane could be that, because there are, we've got a load right now moving across the country. It's 140,000 pounds, and it takes a 14-axle RGN to carry that because it's 10,000 pounds per axle.
That's amazing.
So if you've got a specialized trailer and this is all you do, two things know for sure: that's an expensive load going across there, because some of these RGNs with all the 10, 12, 14 axles are $250,000 just for the trailer.
How do you know these bridges are going to handle it with a load that heavy? I always think about the height, because when I'm driving, I got 13 and a half feet when I'm going down the road in that rig, and I'll watch, even though you just assume GPS is sending you the right way, but what about the bridge weight requirements?
Right. Yeah. So if you're moving a heavy load like that or an over-dimensional that's super wide, an interstate lane is 144 inches wide.
Mm-hmm.
If it's over 144 inches wide, you have to have escorts. So if it's too tall or super heavy, certain states will require you to do a route survey, where they will break down they may reroute you off of certain roads because of bridge height. Now, when you get up into the New England states, they're synonymous for bridges that are like 14 feet. They have really tight roads, so these guys demand a lot of money to move these wide and tall loads because they have to go around certain bridges and go out into the country and that kind of stuff. So, yeah, so it's there's a lot to it, but like I said, next time you're traveling and you see an oversized load at night, know he's rolling the dice with his license.
It's either that or a drug cartel. Something's going down. Fred, that was good. I appreciate you educating us, and it's fascinating what you do. I observe all this stuff when I'm out there on the highways, and I always wonder why that goes that way. That's good stuff.
Yep. Yeah, it's kind of a busy time for us working with the DoD. So
I guarantee it. Thanks, man, Fred. I didn't know it was illegal, AJ. Makes sense though. They got to be able to see what they're doing. Speaking of big stuff, Work Trucks is down there slinging the big trucks or smaller trucks. They got a lot of options for you at Work Trucks, depending on what you do for a living. Y'all, this is, to me, this is business smart on two levels. One, you're not overpaying for the work truck that you need for your business because you're getting these pre-owned. But two, it takes a lot of time and energy to track one of these down for your business, vet it. You got to have a checklist yourself to go through the thing. I couldn't even come up with 125 things to check, but they do this at Work Trucks. Get it back here, do all the haggling. Work Trucks has done all that work. It's down there on 3rd Avenue South. If they don't have what you want, they'll go source it, get it back here for you. So it's time is money kind of thing. You can be focused on bringing in revenue. This is an expense item. They've got trucks ready to go. You go down there, turnkey deal. They'll get you finance, extended warranties, all of this stuff. You drive it over to wherever you get your logos put on, slap your name on the side of it, and get to work. Bubba's a great dude. That whole team down there is cool. They're just good folks. And they'll keep you running all year long. If you got one that goes down and you need another one, or you want to grow, or just starting out, some of y'all are just really, it's time to do it yourself. Get down to Work Trucks, TRUX, WorkTrucksLLC.com, WorkTrucksLLC.com. Okay, I'm going to ask you a personal question. When's the last time you sent flowers? Seriously, you ain't got to answer out loud, but when's the last time you loved on somebody? Somebody in your life would like to hear from you. It doesn't even have to be your boo thing. It could be your mama. Could be somebody going through some things. People get blue. I always say, and I hope Blakely's understands this, and I think they do. Sometimes it's not the bouquet itself. Eventually, those flowers are going to die. It's that little card. It's that note, your name on it, saying, "Hey, praying for you," or "Love you." We need to do more of that in life. I know I do. So let Blakely's be your personal florist. These are wonderful people. Don't you want to do business with good folks? They are that way at Blakely's. Once you do business with them, you'll see what I mean. Super talented. If you're a flower person, you're not like me. If you're dumb like me, you just get online and look at the pictures. Hey, that's pretty. And click on it, put a message in, pay them, boom, it's done, it's delivered. You get a text to let you know that the delivery is made, which is fun. But if you're detailed and you got like the holidays coming up or some football thing with college and high school, all the events that you want special colors or some kind of arrangement, they love that. You can pop by Edgewood, get in the lab with them, and come up with something beautiful. Otherwise, for those of us that just want an easy way to do something like that for somebody in this delivery world that we live in, it's Blakely's Bouquets. They're in Edgewood, like I pointed out, over in Homewood. Two names, Blake and Lee. You put that together and you have Blake Lees, BlakeLees, Blake Lees, bouquets.com. Okay, let's do the 5 o'clock, top of the hour. We'll come back, reset, and see what else is going on around the world. We've got another one of these. We got another one of these weird school incidents over a fake gun. We've heard this story before. I'm going to share this with you when we get back. We're so stupid in this world sometimes. Back in a minute.